All right, guys, welcome back. This is Brad with More Coaching, and I'm here with Sydney, and we are talking about why it's important to follow your dreams no matter where you are in life, no matter what's happened, no matter what your age. And I specifically really wanted to have Sydney on here because she's a really young badass, and I want people to know that it's never too young to start going after your dream. We met what, 3, 4 years ago?
Had to have been like 4 years ago
Yeah,
now.
almost 4 years ago at Better Buzz. Well, through ALA, but we met several times at Better Buzz, and always really impressed with your hustle, and you're just so laser focused on your goals. So thank you for being part of this. I know that there are going to be a lot of women that look up to you and hear your message, and it's really going to resonate with them. So thanks for being part of this. So let's start off by having you introduce yourself. Tell everybody what you do and why you feel it's important.
Yes, of course. So thank you, first of all, so much for having me on the podcast. I'm very excited. And thanks to all of you guys who are taking time out of your day to listen. But I am Sydney Lich. And like Brad said, we met about 4 years ago. And around that time, I was actually about a year before, I was a college student. I was working multiple different jobs. I'm from a very small town in Montana. I was like a major young hustler. And I had my hand in a lot of different things, not really knowing what it was that I wanted to do and to create in the world. I was 21 years old at the time. And as I was finishing school, I was going to school to become a high school PE teacher. And I knew that wasn't what I wanted to do. I was like, I'm meant for more than working a 9 to 5 or a 7 to 7 and teaching little gremlins in class, which I respect teachers so much. I'm like, God bless these people because I just couldn't do it. And making $30,000 a year. I just know there's more. I can be more fulfilled. I can have more. I don't know what that looks like, but I'm going to figure it out. And so I started to explore in the online space, started to do some bodybuilding shows, started to coach some people in bodybuilding. And along comes this woman named Jessica who joins my program, and I'm helping her with her macros and online coaching her from Montana. She lives in San Diego. And around that time, she introduces me to this network marketing company. And I mean, a lot of people are familiar with some of these companies, and I had been introduced to several before, didn't really know if it was going to be a good fit for me. And I told her, I was like, I trust you. I'll take a look at it. What do I have to lose? And little did I know I had nothing to lose and a lot to gain. Around the time I graduated college, I moved out to California. I met up with this woman, Jessica, and I got immersed. I got immersed in the culture of the company that I joined. It's a health and wellness company. And I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the process. I fell in love with impacting other people. I fell in love with the income that was, able to be made in this company. Along that journey, I actually went to ALA and got a lot of personal development under my belt and really decided to buckle down and grow myself, because I realized that if I don't grow myself, my income is never going to grow. So at the age of 22, 23 years old, 24 years old, I was grinding. I had a mattress on the floor in my apartment. I had no couch, no TV, didn't spend any money on anything except for books and seminars and learning for about 3.5 years. And so after that, really built up my business to a multiple six-figure business. I have a global team, travel all over the country, speaking for the company, speaking for other business models and things like that. And got to travel to Bali last year, live there for a few years, have a life of complete freedom at the age of 26, and have impacted about 6,000 to 7,000 people along the way through my company. So now we're here. I'm out in Austin, Texas. I'm enjoying life and just really focused every single day on growing myself, growing other people, lifting people up, and just, helping as many people as possible reach their full potential in this life that we have.
Amazing. And yeah, again, I have this sense about you that you just have this ability to see the opportunity for what it is and go for it. Tell us a little bit about your thought process, the emotions that came up as you're starting to develop this hunger, and you're seeing that this company that you've been involved with, and feel free to name them if you feel it's appropriate. But tell us the emotional journey that you went through, because I think a lot of people, they have this desire and this want, but when it comes to actually facing those emotions that come up, like, am I good enough for this? Am I worthy enough for this? I've never had this before. Is this going to stick around? All the questions.
Yeah. I think it started at a really young age, even before I joined my company, which is called Isogenics, if you want to look it up. It's an amazing company. And it started, even when I was younger, I had this desire to be a professional bodybuilder. And I was 17, 16 years old. And Montana, you guys, it's very conservative. If you're wearing a bikini, even at the pool, it's like, whoa, showing a lot of skin. So to go up on stage and having people see me and already at a very early age have people tell me, you can't do that, you shouldn't be doing that, that's not, whatever people's beliefs were, I grew a thick skin because I knew what I wanted, and I knew whatever their beliefs were just projections of their own limitations. And so for me, that discipline and that hunger came at a young age of like, I'm not going to let other people stop me from something that I want to do, because I believe in myself. And that's really the only belief I have, is like in myself. I don't know, I don't know what other people are ever going to do, but I always have control of what I'm going to do. So when I came into network marketing, there was a moment when I went to my first event, I was like, I don't even know what this company is all about. I haven't even tried the shakes. I don't know what's going on. I have no money and I'm wearing $20 shoes. My feet are bleeding because I can't afford anything else. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And the moment the event started, the youngest millionaire at 26 years old and the oldest millionaire at 94 years old came out on stage and they opened the event. And I remember looking over to my mentors and saying, I'm going to be one of the youngest millionaires in this entire company. And once I declared that, it was like, that's when the work started. That's when people started to talk crap. That's when people started to tell me I couldn't do it again. And so I realized there was this common theme of like, whenever I commit myself to something, there's going to be people telling me I can't do it. There's going to be hardships. There's going to be times where I'm crying every single day. There's going to be times where I don't necessarily believe in myself, but as long as I can never lose sight of like what I envision my life to be and staying connected to that vision every single day, I can literally do anything. And I've always done anything I put my mind to. But I will say that whenever we decide we're going to do something different or big in our lives, there's a level of dedication and a decision that has to be made. And that's when the hardship comes. That's when we're really tested, because God or the universe or source or whatever you want to call it wants to make sure that we're serious about it. They want to make sure that we're like not dicking around. I don't know if I can say that, but they want to make sure we're not dicking around and we're really serious about what we want. Because if we can't handle emotionally what we're going to get with whatever the desire is that we are calling in, we're going to blow it. We're going to get what we want and then we're going to blow it. So the universe tests us to make sure that we can handle the stress, that we can handle the haters, that we can handle the amount of money we're going to come into, whatever that may be. So I really believe that if you declare you want to do something, and for me, I declared I wanted to be one of the youngest millionaires in the company, and if hardships didn't come, the chances are I probably wasn't playing a big enough game. So for me, it's like, if the hardships are coming in, that's how I know I'm moving myself forward, I'm growing, and I'm getting closer to where I want to be.
Okay. So I love that you bring that up, because a lot of people, and I went through this myself, when hardships come, what is the thought process for you to keep going, even though it feels like you might not even be doing any movement? Because sometimes it doesn't look or feel like there's movement, even though there is, but humans being visual creatures,
Yep.
what do you do to keep yourself going?
First thing is I keep my blinders on. I literally act like I'm a thoroughbred racehorse, and I act like I have blinders on so I can't see outside of just my vision. So I keep tunnel vision on, and I always remind myself of bamboo. Sounds so silly, but bamboo, I believe, I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm gonna try and get as accurate as I possibly can. If you look up bamboo and the growth pattern of bamboo, I think of us as bamboo. When you plant a bamboo seed, it takes 5 years to even see it sprout through the ground. And then within 6 weeks, it grows 80 feet tall.
Yeah.
And so I think of myself as bamboo. I'm planting the seeds, and delayed gratification is everything with success. So when I plant a seed, I know I'm not going to see that seed sprout for 6 to 12 months. So as long as I know that I'm taking action and in control of the actions that I'm taking every single day, It's trust and it's surrender, my friends, which is the hardest for some of you because you're control freaks. So it's trust and surrender, knowing that if you are listening to the people who have gone before you and you're following in their footsteps and you're doing everything in your power that you know how to do to get to point Z in a calculated path, you've got to trust. And if you don't, you're going to drive yourself crazy. So for me, it's like blinders on, remembering that what I'm doing now won't show up until 90, 120 days, 6 months, a year from now, but it's that trust. It's trust and surrender. And every time I've surrendered and trusted the universe, it's provided so much more than I would have even ever expected.
I love that. So what about, you just made a really excellent comment on getting more than you ever expected. Um, Tell us a little bit about that, because um, I think with the whole surrendering aspect and, you know, leaning into uncertainty, right? Which, me as a recovering control freak, um,
Aren't we all?
yeah, I used to go into things and, okay, I need it to look a certain way. I need to make X amount of dollars and then I'll be successful. What can you tell people about leaning into the uncertainty and allowing for surprise?
I think the biggest thing that we do as goal setters and human beings is we set our goals so small. If we really, even if we're like, I'm going to make $1 billion in my life, it's like, what if you could do 5 billion? And you're trying to keep such control of everything and make sure it looks this way, and this happens and this happens and this happens, but like, what if your actual path in this planet is to do something completely different, or to have 10 times the amount that you think that you wanted, right? So it's like, for me, it's leave room for like the pleasant surprise of what is possible. And what I found is every time I've set a goal, it's like I could have set so much higher of a goal. I'm so much more capable than I thought that I was, because our perception of ourselves is usually a lot lower than what we have within us. And so I think it's really like leaving room for the surprise and leaving room for the gifts. Um, and and again, just being in the day-to-day action, enjoying the action, feeling good right now, and continuing to imagine, but knowing that the universe might have a completely different plan for us that's so much greater and so much grander than we thought. I always think of it's like such a corny analogy, but like the Kardashians, I guarantee if they were super connected to what they like, or super attached to what they thought they were going to do like 15, 20 years ago when they started their TV show, they probably would have capped themselves a lot. But what they've created is something so much larger than life. When you really look at the empire that they have created as a family, it's like if they were so attached to it looking a certain way, they never would have left space for the amazing surprises that came in. And so I always look at my life like that. I'm like, okay, I'm setting these goals that I think are important to me, but what if God has something way bigger set out for me? Like, I don't want to be in such control. So every single day, I'm just like, I wonder what amazing surprise is going to happen today. I wonder who I'm going to meet today. I wonder what's going to happen today that I have no idea, no control over, but the universe is conspiring in my favor to lay out the path for me. And I'm just here to walk down it and do what I can control, which is put the food in my mouth that I'm going to control, do what I'm going to do as far as exercise, and talk and connect with the people that I have control of. That's really all I have control of.
Love that. So tell our viewers here a little bit about, um, did you have trust issues when you first started out, and leading into the universe has your back, or whatever you want to say? Did you have that sort of like, let go? What can you tell people that might have never really experienced trust or have trust issues, to just let that go and just say, okay, whatever's coming is meant for me? Because that can also lead to, and I've seen it in some instances where they just leave it to chance for a miracle to happen, and their business totally blows up when they're not actually putting in as much effort as they could. But maybe it's because of that trust issue or that control issue. So what can you tell people? Did you have to work through any trust issues, and did you go to somebody for that, or what did you do?
I'm a naturally trusting person. I trust people until they give me a reason not to trust them. But what I will say is, I think that there's a difference between surrendering and trusting that what's going to come to you comes to you, and also still being in action. Like, even though I'm not just sitting on my booty meditating and trying to call in millions of dollars. It's like I'm setting the intention that whatever I'm supposed to create and whatever needs to happen through me in this world, whether it's to give at a certain level or to serve at a certain level or to donate at a certain level or to whatever it may be, that's going to come. But it's my job to be in action. And so I'm still working my ass off in alignment with the goals that I have intended and the goals that I've set, knowing that most likely it's going to be even greater of an outcome. But the second I start to try and control other people and I get frustrated with other people because they're not doing what I have planned for them, especially in network marketing, if you're like, well, you're not doing this and you said you wanted this, but it's going to help my paycheck. So you need to do this because this is what you said you were going to do. That's where it gets troublesome. It's like, great, you're not doing that. Let's work on some personal development. While you're doing that, I'm going to go out and find 5 other people to replace your spot. So it's like, I'm not trusting that the universe is just going to hand everything to me. I'm simply working. My work ethic is in alignment with the amount that I'm wanting to call into my life. So I can't have $1 million with a $500 work ethic. Got to have $1 million work ethic as well. But $1 million work ethic might create $100 million, you know?
Okay. What does a $1 million work ethic look like, in your opinion?
Well, millionaires make about $500 an hour. So when I'm asking myself, am I working like a millionaire or am I working like a poor person? I'm asking myself the questions like, is this worth my time? Is this a valuable use of my resources right now? Am I wasting time? Am I watching Netflix? Am I getting caught up in drama with drama conversationalists? Am I talking to idealists like you, like people who are like creating new things in the world? Like, is it worth my time? If it is, I'll do it. If it's not, I probably shouldn't be doing that. And it's really, I mean, we know if we're doing something that's a waste of our time. If we're eating cookies on the couch, probably not the best for us. It doesn't really make us feel good. If I'm going and I'm getting up early and I'm doing my morning routine and I'm setting myself up so the rest of the day I can serve other people, that's worth the time, right? So it's like, okay, what is going to be the ROI of this time that I'm investing? Is this a high leverage activity where I do one thing and it has the potential to create a lot more for the effort? Or is this a low level, low leverage activity? And once I started to ask myself that question, like, would a millionaire be doing this right now? The chances are, if I'm even asking that question, it's probably no.
Right? Yeah, I love that. So awesome. Thank you. All right. So we've talked a lot about your achievements, but we haven't really done anything specific. But let me ask you this. How do you define success?
Like this question. I wish I would have grabbed my John Wooden book. John Wooden, he's a basketball coach. If you guys don't know, he's passed now, but he was the UCLA basketball coach. And he talks about success. Again, I wish I had the direct quote. I should have grabbed the book, but he talks about how success is nothing more than doing your absolute best. And I love that because I think every single person has a different purpose and a different version of success. For me, success might mean one thing, and I'll feel successful if and when I'm a certain way or making a certain amount of money. For somebody else, they might feel successful when they're serving a certain amount of people. For another person, they might feel successful when they're creating events for X amount of people. It totally depends on the person. So for me, at the end of the day, I feel successful and fulfilled if I put my head down on the pillow and I feel like I used up my life source for that day. And so that's my version of success. If I put the best possible foot forward into everything that I did, and I did everything a little bit beyond what I thought I could have done, that feels like success for me. And so instead of waiting to feel successful, I want to feel success in every single day and every single conversation. And if I do that, that allows me to feel and embody what success means to me. Therefore, I'll attract more success.
I think that's a great mindset to have, is define what success looks like for you, so that when you do put your head down in your pillow, great, today was a successful day. And you plant that seed into your subconscious so that when you wake up in the morning, you've already got this subconscious mantra running through your head, right? It's all about, in my opinion, it's really about mindset and what are we committed to.
It's so true. And what I know is that if we ever want to attract a feeling into our lives, we have to start embodying that feeling before we get it, before we have the results to prove that we're feeling those feelings. If we want to feel happy, happiness doesn't come from getting happiness. Happiness comes from feeling happiness now, and we're going to create more of that ball of energy. So it's the same with success. If we want to feel successful, don't wait for the money to come. Feel successful in each and every activity you do, and you'll start to attract more of what makes you feel successful.
I'm so glad that you added that little bit. So I was going to just ask you about that, but that's perfect because I think it's really important for people who maybe have never felt that before, have a little example of like, okay, I can do that. I can create happiness. I can feel success. And if that builds on itself each and every day, I can do that. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
What is one thing you wish everyone knew about you?
I think I wish everyone knew how much work was done behind the scenes on myself to become the type of person that I'm becoming. Because so often I hear from people who didn't know me before now, they're like, oh my gosh, I wish I could be like you, or I wish I could, speak like you do, or I wish I had the confidence you did. A lot of people in my team are the ones referring to this or online. And I'm like, if you only knew what I have been through and what I have done, you would start to realize how much you're capable of if you were willing to do the same work. So it's not like, oh, I wish people knew how much work I did because I'm so amazing. It's, I wish people knew what was sacrificed over and over and over and over, day after day for years, to be able to become the type of person I want to become. Because if people could see that before me, they would realize they can literally become any person that they want, because who I was before was a completely different version of who I am now. And I just wish more people knew that and could see that journey in front of their own eyes so that they believed in themselves a little bit more.
Yeah, I love that because, we do shortchange ourselves with our own possibility. When I think about my last few years and all the things that I've gone through and to bring me to the point of where I'm at today, I have people tell me all the time, how they remark on my voice. Like it's almost a daily thing that people will say something like, oh my God, your voice, it's so calming, it's so soothing. It's just like, and I'm thinking to myself, Jesus, if you knew everything I went through, to finally get to a place where I feel the feelings that you're talking about,
Yeah.
but it was a lot of, sleepless nights, dealing with my demons and facing the personal limitations that I put on myself and asking myself why and asking myself, okay, how can I think differently? What can I do differently today? How can I show up even though I'm feeling like I don't want to do this today? How can I still show up today? Because one of my first mentors gave me a great phrase, which is also a question, and it is, so what? I'm tired. Like, so what? Like, I'm not in the mood today. Like, so what?
So what?
You know what? Do it anyway. And when you get done with it, because I've lived this so many times, when you just do it anyway, you show up anyway because your vision is bigger than your resistance. And you get done with that first thing that you really didn't want to do, and you're like, that wasn't so bad. That was actually kind of fun.
Yes.
And you go like, oh, I'm totally ready for today. Fuck this day. I got you, my bitch.
Yeah. It's so true. I love that. And I think the so what it's so true, because the difference between non-successful people and successful people is they ask that question and then some. They do a little bit more. They just and then some. They're just always doing a little bit more that the average person won't do because of discomfort, because of fear,
Yep.
because that keeps them in the same place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw you writing that down, so I'm glad that resonated with you. It was, yeah, but I literally had my first private coach tell me that about 5 years ago, and it's never left my brain, and it's becoming more and more embedded to me even now, um, regarding just, and it comes back to, is your vision bigger than your resistance, you know,
Mhm.
and having that vision. So I want to actually ask one more question before I give you the last one. Um, so for people when they're feeling like they're not moving forward and they're feeling like they're not reaching their goals, um, do you have anything like recommendations, like a vision board or something to help them keep reminded, like, this is your why, this is what you declared?
Yeah. It's so funny. I have my vision board right there and I update it every 6 months. I would go grab it, but I update it about every 3 to 6 months. And when things come to pass, I take it off. And every morning, I mean, I work here. I overlook the entire city of Austin, and my vision board is in the forefront of my mind every day. To the left of me is an entire wall. If you could see that, it's like an entire wall of all my work. So it's like, if like, keep what's important in front of you. Keep what's important in front of you. I have sticky notes all over my desk of where is your attention, my goal weight, my goal in my business. I have sticky notes all over in my bathroom. I have it like my focus and my attention is so involved and it's so engaged every single day because I put myself in an environment that doesn't allow me to get distracted, that doesn't allow me to do anything but focus on what I'm wanting. And so if you're having a challenging time, like look at your environment. What is your environment like? Do you have a vision board? Do you have, notes in front of you with all the things you're creating for the week? Like, do you have, like, where is your focus? Where is your attention? What is your environment like? Because you can't outwork a shitty environment. You just can't.
Ooh, I like that. You
I've
can't
tried.
outwork a shitty environment.
I have tried and it is not. I'm
Well,
stronger than that. My work ethic's better. It's not.
yeah, yeah, you really do need to set yourself up for success.
Yep. Yep.
I could literally talk to you all day, but I'm gonna keep my promise and keep it laser. So one last question, and then before we go, if you have any kind of offer for anyone, whether it's to talk about a business opportunity or if you still do coaching or anything, if you've got an event that you want people to go to, a book you want to promote, anything, please make sure. And then make sure you send me through whatever email or Facebook Messenger um, your headshot and your links to everything that you want people to find you at.
Cool.
So last question is, why is it important to have dreams and goals?
I didn't want to think about these questions before you sent. I like to see what comes downloaded. Why is it important to have dreams and goals? What's getting downloaded for me right now that I feel like I need to share is that, because if you're listening right now, whatever dream and goal you have was placed in your heart for a reason. And if you didn't have all the tools and the resources to fulfill it in this lifetime, you wouldn't have been given it. And so the reason it's important to have dreams and goals is because that was literally planted inside of your soul to fulfill. And I don't think I've ever been given a goal or had, a vision of what was possible for my life sent or downloaded into my body if I could not fulfill it. I just don't think that I think that is big dreamers and people who have dreams and goals. Like, it is something that you have been given. It is a gift and it is literally your job to actualize it. And that's why it's important, because there might not be anybody else on this planet who can do what you do in the way that you do it. And you're going to reach people that no one else will resonate with. And so
Right?
your dreams, your vision, your goals are important.
Yeah.
And they're important for the collective to get to the next level of consciousness that we need so bad. So that's what I have to say about that.
Oh, that's awesome. That's absolutely, I mean, again, I think that we resonate with each other because we have that same belief system. And I agree. And I think that this quote, it's not that we're afraid of playing small, it's that we're afraid of playing big and being seen.
Chills.
because that requires so much vulnerability and responsibility to really step into that bigness, that living
Yeah.
that dream that we've been given.
It does. And what I'll say this, Brad, and then I'll leave I'll let us finish up. But I was thinking that yesterday. I was like, the fear for all of us is not of like playing small. It's literally playing big and getting more than we could have imagined, and living with the responsibility that the goal requires. And I was doing a call yesterday, and I got, there was a team call that we were doing, and someone couldn't show up, and so I had to take the lead on it within like 15 minutes. I was like showing up, and I was like, the reason a lot of people can't step into leadership and into their goals and actualize them is because they're not willing to actually do the work and step up when the times are hard and when no one else can show up and when there's other things going on and when you have life happen, when you're crying 5 minutes before a call, but you got to get on and serve people. Like that happens to me on a monthly basis where 5 minutes before a call, I am crying, going through something, and I'm like, I'm still going to show up. And that's the difference between, again, successful and non-successful people is, are you willing to show up when shit hits the fan? And people are afraid of actually following through on those things and seeing what they're really made of. So I just encourage you, if you're in that season where you're like, I'm not afraid of failing, but I'm afraid of success, like prove to yourself that you can handle more than you think that you can, that you can step into the leadership role that you want. If I can, as a 26-year-old that was going to be a high school PE teacher, I'm sure as hell positive that you can too.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. That's amazing. So thank you for that. So let's do this. Let's tell everybody how they can find you. If you've got anything to offer as far as coaching or anything, please make sure that everybody knows about it, because I have so much admiration and respect for you, and I know that you can do the same for others that you've done for yourself. So please tell us how we can find you.
Yes, of course. So you can find me on Instagram, and it's at Sydney Lich. I'll give Brad notes to put in the show notes. And then I'm also going to be launching a podcast May 1st. And that I've already recorded so many episodes. And it's really, my intention with the podcast is not to blow up on podcasts. It's not to become, famous through it. It's not to like get a bunch of sponsorships. It's literally just to pay forward information. I'm not selling anything on there, nothing like that. But that is just a way to pay for the information I've been given so graciously by so many. And then obviously, if you guys want to work with me, reach out on Instagram. You can DM me, or you can find an application in my bio. And I really mentor people through network marketing, but it's all encompassing. So if you're looking for something, some fulfillment, another way to create an additional income stream, I can definitely show you the way. And that's what I have for you guys.
Awesome. Cindy, thank you so much. Hold on. I got a little partner here who wants to say.
Hi, cutie. Oh my goodness. Oh, what kind of dog is he?
That's JJ. I think you met him a couple times.
I think I did too. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. He's demanding attention right now. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I love you so much, Brad. Thank you so much for having me on.
I love you too. Thank you for being part of this. I'm super excited to see what happens. So whenever you have a moment, send over all your contact information and I'll make sure everyone has it.
That sounds great. I'll talk
All
to
right,
you
my
soon.
dear. Take
All
care.
right. Bye, Brad.
Bye.